LeBron won this, and I already saw it fast. Oh, well, Jordan, NBA Cup Finals, 0. LeBron, 1. For all you people out there that's doing that, that's nasty work. You're nasty. That's disgusting. Don't do that. I've been enjoying the season so far. The first quarter has been great. Been super competitive, and I think we have a lot to thank that in the in-season tournament. And then players have stepped up in some really, really great ways. Like Tyrese Halliburton is becoming a superstar right before our eyes in Indiana. Nah. So much season left to play. Now, I think it has the ability, and what it has done. What it has done is give us the ability to see certain players get attention and rise, and if they can continue that momentum into the All-Star game, like the Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton looks to be on the board as an All-Star based upon what he's been able to show and based upon the exposure. Some of these guys don't only get 5-6 national TV games. Like, that's all they get. That's Halliburton. Like, he's one of them. And here you are on the biggest stage so far, the most competitive stage so far. You average what, 30 and like 12, and I'm guessing the numbers, but he had some of his best games in some of the most exposed moments, and that will get the snowball effect to certain awards, to certain recognitions, because we're all seeing it. We're all seeing it right there. But it also will happen on the other end, where you have players like Zion who pretty much laid an egg against the Lakers in the semifinals of the in-season tournament, and we're like, yo, we thought you were fixing some of the things you were having a problem with. It looks like some of the things that's going on are still going on. And so people are raising questions based upon those moments. Like, are you in shape? And we're hearing rumors like he's never been in shape, and the coaches and the team and trainers have been employing him to eat better and train better and get in better shape. That all happens off the strength of we all watch you on national TV not perform. And so it'll do both. And I think it's good. It's good for the league. I think this is a win. I think the NBA won with this. And if we could rewind the clock, let's rewind the clock for a second. The NBA rolled this out, and I remember seeing on Twitter timelines, now X, formerly Twitter, y'all just trying to make the regular season mad to us when we're just gonna wait till December. And lo and behold, all of us bought in. And the buy-in started with the players. The players cared. You mentioned an extra check, $500K. You mentioned a trophy and MVP awards and all these different things that'll come into play with it. And people bought in. The players bought in. And so because of the investment from the players, we got investment from the fan and us. And so I think it was a win. I think the NBA should be very, very proud of what they put together. Now, how much does it matter is a whole nother thing. How heavily this should weigh is a completely different thing. LeBron won this, and I already saw it fast. Oh, well, Jordan, NBA Cup Finals, 0. LeBron, 1. For all you people out there that's doing that, that's nasty work. You're nasty. That's disgusting. Don't do that. It's a nice thing to have, but that doesn't mean that this for somehow creates a whole new legacy element to anyone who's won it. I'm not really I'm not ready to rock with that. Maybe as it grows and as they expand and tweak the tournament, maybe it'll carry more weight. But right now, no, I can't add too much to it, and that's just the way it is. But shout out to the Lakers. I'm not taking anything away from them. They won it. They played the best. They went undefeated throughout the in-season tournament, the brackets, and they did what they had to do in the actual tournament when they met the Suns and the Pelicans. The Pelicans, they put up no real fight to me. I was not surprised by that game at all. And they beat the Pacers, and So shout out to them. Shout out to Bron, AD for doing what they had to do. But I'm not gonna put a whole bunch of weight on it. I just can't. I can't do that. So we're hitting the mark. I think we're about 20, 21 games this season, but with a little bit over a quarter of the season. And the teams, you said the team I'm most concerned with? Teams I'm most concerned with.
Teams and players.
Teams and players. Teams and players. Team, the Detroit Pistons. Now, I knew the Detroit Pistons would be bad. I'm not going to say I expected them to be this world-beating team or they to come out and to be the Sacramento Kings of this season. I didn't think that. But to lose 19 straight is OD. I just expected more out of them. I expected a little more competition, a little more competitive spirit out of them, and they just haven't given us that. They haven't given me that. Especially when you bring in Monty Williams, you've made him the, I think, close to, or if not the highest paid coach in the league right now. After he was let go as the Phoenix Suns head coach, and they brought in Frank Vogel. You have all these young players that, quite frankly, that we're very high on. I'm very high on. Cade Cunningham, I'm super high on. I'm actually, he's one of the players I'm pleasantly surprised with that's in the worst of worst situations. Because I think he's averaging, I got to pull it up. Let me see. Cade's averaging 22 and 7, shooting 42% from the field, 34 from 3, his highest in his career, 89 from the line. He's playing his best basketball of his career. He's shooting the ball the best. Looks like he's the most confident he's ever been with the ball in his hand, with shooting the rock. And then at the same time, his team is trash around him. Like the competitive spirit around him is awful. And for young players like him, first overall picks like him, you want to see them in situations where you feel like they can grow in. And it's not the players, or not other players per se, but it's just the culture. The culture isn't following the way I thought it would when they brought in Monty Williams. And so they're probably the most concerning to me. Another one is the Bulls. The Bulls, I don't even think it's concern anymore. I think it's just over. I think they just have to get off Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Two great players, I say good players, but great offensive talents. Good players, great offensive talents that could be of service to another playoff team, that could be of service to other championship contending type teams in better positions. But this whole thing in Chicago is pretty much over. They're a mid-tier team, and right now, because there's no cohesion, and because I honestly believe there's no Lonzo Ball, who's been hurt for the last 2 years, it weighs heavily on them. Weighs heavily on them as a unit because there's something missing there. And it's that point guard that's able to distribute the ball, not necessarily have to take a whole bunch of shots, not have to look for themselves, and also be a point of attack defender. And that's what Lonzo was when he first got there. You could see how that energy has shifted while he's been hurt. And Caruso, he's also another guy that's another good talent, could be of use other places. And Chicago can really buy into a whole rebuild, and they'll get a lot back from those three players alone. So the question is if they'll do it. They've been flirting with this idea. It feels like they've been flirting with this idea for the last 2 seasons. And I think they're finally going to fold. I think they're finally going to give this up because they're not going to win. They're not going to win anything with this. Team of you have to say is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 17-4, number 1 in the West. They are playing the best defense they've ever played in the last 5 seasons. And Anthony Edwards is him. He is him. It is up. And we all expected this for the most part, which is great. I believe all of us are on the same page when we saw Anthony Edwards come in and he started to show the flashes of superstardom, right? He just started to be that guy. And we were just like, man, Cat's here. Can him and Cat coexist? And I think they can, but I think it's just the pecking order has shifted. While we used to think Cat could be the number 1, and he's not, it's now so like it's just Ant. Ant is the number 1 unequivocally, and that's okay. That doesn't mean Cat's a bad player. I think he's averaging like 20 and 8 or 9. He's shooting close to 50, 40, 90. From the field, the line, and the 3, like he's really putting up some of his best numbers as, if we want to label him, a number 2 option. You know, the offense is running through Ant, and I think that's really the win here for them. And defensively, I was here. I hated on the trade and how much they spent to get Rudy Gobert. They spent a great deal to get Rudy Gobert in, and they brought in Mike Conley as well. But having Rudy Gobert is an automatic plus on your defense. Automatic plus, which is why they're 17-4. With him in the back line, Chris Finch has done a great job of getting guys like Ant, a lot of the supporting pieces around the superstar defender that Rudy Gobert is, to buy into the defense. And you see it on the court. So when they're having games where they're not hitting shots and they're not as efficient as you would want them to be, they're leaning on the defense to do the job. And that's the win. That's the win for me. So they're easily the pleasant surprise. Easily. Player, I said Cade already, even though he's in a really, really bad spot. But Chet Holmgren, OKC Thunder. I'm an OKC Thunder fan. Y'all should have expected this. Y'all should have known this was gonna come. Chet Holmgren coming off a year where he pretty much they shelved him for the whole season because he got hurt last year, and so OKC looked really, really good last year. We were a play-in team. I don't think people were expecting us to be a play-in team, but we saw Shea elevate. Shea became a superstar, without a doubt, superstar in the league. And with that, we were like, man, we're missing something. But what we're missing was a guy that could be a lob threat, a guy that could be a rim protector, and that's Chet. 7-footer, can protect the rim, doesn't have a problem going up to get blocks, doesn't have a problem trying to battle on the boards. He still needs to get stronger just because, he's just having that frame. He doesn't have that NBA frame yet, but you can tell he's battling down there, and he can shoot the rock. He can pop out. And when you got a guy like Shea, who is so good in the PNR, having guys that can space it around him, like the Isaiah Joes. Lou Dort is shooting the ball crazy well. Unexpectedly to me. Cason Wallace doesn't have a problem knocking down shots. How can I not mention Jalen Williams, who's able to knock down shots, but also get to the rim and crash, get lobs, all of that. Like, that's another guy that's able to kind of feed off of the gravity that Chet Holmgren can pull when he's at his best. And we're just seeing flashes of it. This is his first season playing. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Like, Victor Wembanyama is having a great season, but the Spurs are 3-18. This is Chet's award so far. It's Chet's award so far, just from the way he's been playing. So, all right. I appreciate this. It's cool. I like this. Y'all enjoyed this? Let me know. I'll do more of these. And as always, eat, sleep, breathe the game. Love you. Be safe. Yeah. What?
So, did Josh Giddey do it?
Y'all, I know Keith wrote that in. I do not know. I'm gonna tell you what I told Brian, because Brian hit me up. I was playing 2K, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, your boy Josh Giddey." I'm like, "Look, if he did it, pack him up. If he didn't, let's move on." I don't know. So that's my answer. I'm not getting sued over Josh Giddey. I refuse. I'm not getting sued over Josh Giddey. I don't know. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Anything else?